I'm never sure until I see it, but yes, we're taping. 21 yoga classes online, and I'm still never sure if I'm taping or not. So, welcome back to yoga. I'm happy to be with you today. I need this today as much as you do. I woke up just feeling stiff and achy the other day, and we've been walking and going up and down hills, and it's just not the same as what yoga does for me. So, I hope you've been well. We skipped one class, right, on Saturday morning. We were kind of in between figuring out what worked best for Parks and Rec and the library and me, and we're back on schedule now. So we're back on schedule for Wednesday nights and Saturday morning classes. I hope you do 2 a week, but if you do 1, that's still better than doing none, right? So, gorgeous morning out today. When I walked the dog this morning, it was like the prettiest morning. Yesterday was the same kind of day, but it got a little chilly, so I had to put on long sleeves. And in June, it's June 1st, day 79 of lockdown. But in June, I don't really like wearing long sleeves, so I'm hoping it warms up. This is good sleeping weather, but not great like daytime weather. So, I'm wearing a hat. I don't remember when I washed my hair last, but I will get to it tonight. Today's my mom's birthday. I don't know if she'll do this class or watch this class, but if she does, happy birthday, Mom. We celebrated her birthday on Saturday night, 6 feet apart in their backyard. And today the boys and I are going to drop off dinner so that she doesn't have to cook tonight. Let's see. I saw something funny today. I don't know if you've had young kids that have had birthdays during all of this, but it was a meme and it said in 10 years when someone honks their horn at a quarantine kid, all the quarantine kids are going to be like, oh my gosh, it must be a birthday! Because of all the drive-by birthday honking that goes on, which has been super fun. Okay, let's get right to it and get warm and get moving, okay? I thought we would focus on hip openers today because I know that when I see you guys walking around town or when you message me or DM me or text me, hips seem to be the biggest, tightest issue for everybody. And hips are tricky because you can open them and 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 open them. And they'll feel great in the moment and like for 10 minutes after class, and then they'll get tight again because you'll sit down or you'll lie down or you'll drive home from yoga class or you'll take a walk wearing the wrong shoes. So hip openers are almost like a continuous thing that you just need to be aware of and do all the time. Quit your job, quit life, just do yoga hip openers all the time. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do hip openers, approaching them from a variety of places, some lying down, some standing up. And hopefully by the end of this class, you feel nice and loose in your hips and you feel just in general a little bit lighter and a little bit better with our situation. Okay, so lie on your backs. You don't need any props today. You just need your mat. Lie on your backs. Close your eyes. Put your arms out at your sides, palms up, and start to take some nice deep breaths. Inhaling in through the nose, drawing the breath all the way down into your low belly, holding it there for a second, and then exhaling. I'm going to scoot back onto my mat, and then we'll keep on going from there, okay? So close your eyes and just find a restful position. So as I usually instruct, start at the top of your head and work your way down your body and just take a quick inventory of how you're feeling today. Right? Like notice how you're feeling. Notice if your head is feeling a little heavy. I know a lot of my girlfriends that normally have migraine issues are having some issues with migraine. They think it has something to do with the change in the barometric temperature. I think that's right, like the drop in, because we got colder and we were so hot last week, and also it's just, you know, the shift of seasons. So maybe you have a little something like that going on. Maybe you have a little bit of an allergy issue going on. I've had a little gut issue this week. I've just been feeling like bloated and gross. I started a new probiotic yesterday that's so yummy. It's a gummy brambleberry. It's like something the Bernstein Bears would eat, brambleberries. But usually moving, and you know, sometimes it's too much fiber that's a problem. Sometimes it's not enough fiber. Sometimes it's if I have things that are gluten-y, it's an issue, and sometimes that doesn't bother me at all. There's really no rhyme or reason, it seems, but the last week or so my gut's been a little bit off. So today I feel fine, but I'm hoping that it starts a trend of feeling fine. Work your way down, go into your shoulders, go into your torso. Pay specific attention to your hips, right? When you get to your hips, because that's where our focus is going to be today, pay specific attention to how your hips are feeling. It might be hard to determine how they're feeling right now from this position, but I can almost guarantee you that they're probably tighter than you would want them to be, but you may not realize that they're tighter than you want them to be, because I think very often in our daily life we do things that cause us to tighten up, but we're so used to feeling that way that we don't see it as an issue or anything we can fix. We just think it's the way we are. But yoga can fix little things like that. Yoga can fix little things that kind of get off track and off center, and help you to realize that, oh, I don't have to feel that way. I can feel like I have more space there. I can feel a little looser there. I can feel a little bit better there. And that's one of the best parts about yoga. It gives you that closer relationship with how your body should feel and how your body can feel, and what you can do to make those little subtle changes without going out and, you know, running a marathon. You do yoga in conjunction with cardio usually. That's what I would usually tell people. But it's just little things that you can do every day or whenever you feel like you need to, just to feel a little bit better. So work your way down your body, go into your knees, think about how they're feeling. And, you know, it sounds corny, think about how they're feeling. All I mean is just notice. Like maybe one of your knees has been like a little bit achy for the last couple of days. That's all you want to do, is take notice of things like that, so that when we're moving through our practice and we're doing different things that might involve the knee joints, or might involve, you know, kind of counting on your knee to hold you into a certain pose, that you don't overdo something or make something worse, and instead you know to pull back a little bit. That's all. That's all it means. Arms are out, palms are up, right? So we're going to come into a twist. I'm going to do this with you because I just feel like this would feel really nice right now, and I don't want to get left out. So we're lying on our backs, right? Arms are out, palms are up, knees are going to come in, and we're going to take a twist over to the right, letting our legs drop, keeping our arms anchored, letting our legs be nice and heavy against each other, and paying attention to the left arm. You want the left arm to be out at your side, palm up, and then you can look either straight up at the ceiling or towards the left hand, whichever feels best on your neck. Nice deep breathing here. trying to relax into the pose, right? Your breath should work as a conduit to help you relax deeper into your poses. So when you inhale, you just kind of think about where you are at the moment. When you exhale, that's when you let your body settle. So if there are muscles that you're holding a little bit tighter or muscles that you're not allowing to relax, on the exhale, that's when you want to do that. That's when you want to allow that softening to happen. Knees up to center. And instead of coming into a happy baby, which we would normally do, we're going to go right into a twist on the other side. Let the legs drop. Keep the right arm down, palm up. After we twist out on this side, then we're going to come into a bigger happy baby, and we're going to play with that for a second and use it as a bigger hip opener than it might normally be. Because remember, our focus today is on loosening our hips and putting space in there. So remember, the inhale is just pulling a big breath in, letting it go down low into your belly. The exhale is when you let your body muscularly soften into the pose. All right, let's bring our knees up to center. Now we're going to come into our happy baby. So you have your two options. Okay, you have your one hand on each kneecap, just letting the knees go wide. Or you can reach for the foot. I like to do big toe. You pull the legs wide, you pull the knees down, you let the bottoms of the feet face the ceiling, and then you just find a little movement. So do one or the other, whichever one feels best right now. And then bring your feet to the floor. Keep the knees bent. Go wide with the feet. And let the knees tower in towards one another so that your knees are able to stay upright without you putting a lot of effort into it. And then bring the arms into cactus. So cactus, you're at a 90 degree, and you just bring everything down to the ground behind you, letting everything be flat. So the back of your hand, the back of your wrist, the back of your forearm, everything is nice and flat on the ground. Nice deep breathing here, inhaling the breath all the way down into the low belly, holding it there for just a couple seconds, and then slowly exhaling it back out. All right, so we're going to stay on our backs. We're going to bring our feet up and walk them in a little bit. So our knees are up. Feet have walked in a little. We're going to come into a half happy baby on the right side. So you're going to take your pointer finger and your middle finger, and you're going to pull the knee in, reach for the big toe on the right foot, and extend that leg out to the side, letting it straighten as much as you're able by pressing out through the back of the knee. And just maintaining the pose for a couple of breaths. I'm feeling this a super big amount in my hamstring right now, the whole back of my leg. Now we're going to pull it in a little bit, and we're going to bring our hand to the knee. And then we're going to make circles with the femur, the thigh bone, in the hip socket, creating some space, popping some bubbles that might be in there. We're going to go in the other direction. and then we're gonna bring that foot down. So now we're gonna do the same thing on the right, on the left side. Pointer finger and middle finger are gonna reach for the big toe. Okay, we're gonna go up and out. And again, you're straightening through the back of that knee. I'm getting a cramp. Is anyone getting a cramp? You're gonna straighten through the back of the left knee to try to get the leg out to the side. Lengthen the hamstrings at the same time. And just put some space in that hip joint. Nice deep breathing. Bend the knee, hand on the knee, make your circles. You're really using your hip muscles to do this. The hand is just there as a guide. If I move my hand, I'm still going to make the same motions. The hand is just kind of there as a guide. Okay, come back in. Same thing, going in a different direction. Oh my gosh, do you hear how squeaky my floor is? Old houses. Okay, now go wide with the feet, tower the knees in towards one another once again, and again, come back into your cactus position. Find your breath here, guys. Inhaling the breath all the way down into the low belly, holding it there for just a second or two, and then slowly exhaling. All right, we are going to come on up onto hands and knees. So you're going to be facing me. Hands and knees, hands and knees. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Toes don't have to be curled under, or they can be, whatever you prefer. Trying to think, I think normally I leave my feet flat with the tops of my feet pressing into the ground unless I can anticipate what's coming next, and then I might curl my toes under because it's easier to transition if you're ready. But you can do either one. So we're just gonna cat and cow a little bit. Inhaling, dropping the head, pressing the spine up. Exhaling, arching the back, and looking up at me. Move on your breath, go at your own pace. Come on into your flat back. Oh, I have an itch. Okay, flat back. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Press down into the heel of your hand. Let the fingers lift up and then roll down so that every part of your finger is really gripping the mat. I have to turn my mat the other way. You guys can come on up into downward facing dog, okay? So curl the toes under if they weren't. Press yourself up into dog, lift the hips high. I think that's good, right? I will join you in your dog. Try to wiggle my pants down as I do it. So find some space here. Drop your heels down to the floor. Put a bend in your knee, lift your hips high, lengthen the spine by finding height in your hips, but at the same time, don't lock your knees. Nice deep breathing here, building some inner heat. We're going to walk our hands all the way back to meet our feet. Coming to a standing forward bend at the back of our mat, drop your head. Look at your nasty do-it-yourself pedicure. And then from here, inhale up to a flat back. Lengthen the spine out through the crown of the head. Exhale and fold. Inhale up, flat back. Exhale and fold. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale and fold. Cross your arms at the elbows. Bring some weightiness to your spine. Hands to the floor, and now we're slowly going to roll up one vertebrae at a time, taking our time with our head being the last thing to come up to a straight position. And then we're up, right? Okay, so now we're going to walk to the front of our mat. And from here, we are going to step back with our right foot coming into a long lunge, left foot in the front. So step back. You're on the ball of the back foot. Front knee is bent, back knee is bent. Usually when I think of hip openers, I think of going out to the sides with my legs, but front to back is also a way of opening the hips because you're opening the muscular structure, you're lengthening the muscles that enable you to walk forward, walk backward, and as well as out to the side. But lunges are a good hip opener, even though sometimes it doesn't quite seem like that's what they're doing. So we're going to turn the back heel down, straighten the front leg, forward bend over the front leg. Bend into the front knee again, so you're back into your lunge. And then we'll bring it into a high lunge. So remember to turn the back foot, so you're on the ball of the foot again. Arms come up. Big breath in. Exhale your hands to the floor. Step back into downward facing dog. Drop the heels, put a bend in the knee, lift the hips high to get height and lengthen the spine, and find your breath. Now again, you're going to walk your hands back to meet your feet. Forward bend, cross your arms at the elbows. Release the hands. Let's come up to 3 flat back. So inhale up, lengthen out, exhale and fold. Inhale up. Exhale and fold. One more. Inhale up. Exhale and fold. We're going to roll up slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, head being the last thing to come on up to center. So start to do that. Let your body be heavy and slow here. and then walk up to the front of your mat. Do you hear all the birds behind me that are going nuts out my window already? There's a tree on my front lawn that birds just love, and they just started singing to each other. So we're gonna step back with the left foot, long lunge. So bend in the front knee, bend in the back knee, back heel is off the floor, and we're just gonna stay here in a low lunge for a second. Remember how we talked about you don't have to go side to side to open your hips, you can also do front to back. Turn the back heel down, start to straighten the front leg, and then turn your hips and forward bend over the front leg. Okay, let's turn back onto the ball of the back foot, bend into the front knee, come on up into a higher lunge. Nice deep breath in. Exhale your hands to the floor. Step back into your downward facing dog. Inhale forward into a plank. Engage the core here. Knees, chin, chest, or chaturanga. Coming into a nice high cobra. Unclenching your butt, flipping your feet as you go. Remember to breathe deeply here, right? And don't let your shoulders crunch up around your ears. You don't want this. You want this. You want spaciousness. From here, press back, wide knee, child's pose. Come on up. Let's go right into a cat and cow once again, and just find that movement in our spine. Really reaching through the poses. Taking our time as we move through each part of the pose and noticing how it feels on the length of our spine as we go. Okay, come on up onto your knees. We are going to step forward with our right foot. So our front leg, our right leg is in a lunge position, a 90-degree angle. We're gonna bring our hands down and just shift our hips forward and let that front knee roll out to the side a little by lifting up the arch of that foot. And then we're going to shift our weight back, straightening out through the ball of the right foot, right? The four corners of the foot like we've talked about before. Big toe, pinky toe, inner heel, outer heel. Toes pulling back so we're feeling the lengthening in our arch. Come on up onto the front knee. So now to finish this side off with our sequence, we're going to extend that leg straight out to our side and try to keep the bottom of the foot flat on the ground. So you don't want to be leaning into the arch side of your foot. You want the foot flat on the ground. And we're going to go in both directions, okay? So we're going to let our right hand slide down the outside of our right leg and reach across. And then we're going to do the opposite. We're going to bring the left hand down and reach across with our right arm. And then come on up, back into your cat and cow. Okay, come on up onto your knees. This pose doesn't have an official name. Somebody one day volunteered, I think altar boy. I'm not Catholic, so I'm not entirely sure, but I know you kneel, right, in the Catholic Church quite a bit. I think that's what they called it, altar boy. I'm not sure. I don't know. I just stay on your knees. So left foot forward, front leg is in a lunge position. Hands are going to come down onto the floor. You're going to walk yourself forward a little bit, roll onto the outside of that front foot. And you know, when you're doing this on either side, if it's comfortable, come on down. If it's not comfortable, then stay up. You know, like I always want to try to give you options for every pose, so that you don't feel like any pose isn't accessible to you, because they all are on some level. Now we're gonna lean back. We're gonna straighten the front leg out through the four corners of the feet. So the big toe mound, pinky toe, inner heel, outer heel, toes are pulling back. That engages everything in the back of the leg. And then we're going to come up and we're going to step out to the side with that left foot. Bottom of the foot is flat on the ground, right? So we're going to start with the left leg sliding down the outside, left hand sliding down the outside of the left leg. Finding a little bit of a lengthening on the right side here. And then we're going to do the opposite by bringing the right hand down, lengthening across the room, getting a super long side body stretch. And then come on up, hands and knees, back to our undulating cat and cow. Okay, we're going to go into a wide knee child's pose from here. Also a hip opener, but a more passive one. So you're using this as a resting time, but also as a hip opener. Okay? Come on up. We're going to go up into our downward facing dog. So spread your fingers nice and wide. If you're wearing long sleeves like me, make sure that the material isn't stuck underneath your hand, because it'll keep your grip from being really good on your mat. Curl your toes under, lift your hips. Come on up into dog. Walk your hands back to meet your feet. Forward bend, cross the arms at the elbows if you like that weightiness, which I do. And then release your fingertips to the floor and just drop the head, roll all the way up. Nice and slow, with your head being the last thing up. So I'm gonna turn my mat. You guys, if you want, you can turn your mat to face me, but you don't have to. We are going to come into a wide-legged position. So if you're standing in the middle of your mat and you put your arms out at your sides, you should be able to get your ankles underneath your wrists, okay? So go wide, turn your toes in a little, check your stance. Ankles should be under your wrists. And then you're gonna just forward bend, fingertips to the floor. Come on up to a flat back. Lengthen out through your spine. Everyone should be able to do their flat back here with their fingertips on the floor because you're starting from a lower point than if you're just doing a standing forward bend. So fingertips to the floor. Keep both legs straight. Try not to bend into either knee. Walk your hands over towards your right foot. And just lengthen out here, coming into a little bit of a twist. We're going to keep the left hand on the ground. Right hand is going to come to the right hip. And we're going to twist open to look over our right shoulder. If you're comfortable, extend that right arm straight up. Right hand to the floor. Back to center. Forward bend. Come on up, flat back. Walk your hands over towards the left foot. Turn yourself open to look over the left shoulder. If you're comfortable, extend the left arm straight up. Big breath in. Hand to the floor. Back to center one more time in your forward bend. And then we're going to come on up to stand, nice and slow. Pressing into our feet for stability. Now what do we do, right? Now we're kind of stuck. Get your feet back together again, as ungracefully as I did, or if you're better than me, more gracefully. And grab your blanket or your towel or whatever it is that you, don't your hips feel better? My hips already feel better. Grab your blanket or your towel, whatever it is that you perch on, so that you can sit up nice and straight and tall. Go wide. Come into a wide-legged position. And just start to do the mixing bowl. That sounds like a very 1990s dance, doesn't it? The mixing bowl. I remember when my husband and I were engaged. We were both in our mid-20s, and we had this season where like all of our friends were getting married, so we had weddings to go to all the time. It seemed like it was obnoxious. And Mike, my husband, fancied himself to be a really good dancer. And he was not a good dancer at all. He could do things like the sprinkler, the lawnmower. He would do this thing where he kneeled on the ground and pretended to spank his friends. It was awful. It was an awful time in our life. And then we got married, and that kind of put an end to that. So after the wedding season, then you go into like the shower season. right? Well, I guess that's first. The bridal shower season. You have a million showers, and then weddings, and then baby showers. And now we're kind of in the quiet lull, which I'm really enjoying. Okay, so point and flex your feet. Oh, that feels so good. Get the top of your feet, invite them into the stretch. Feels nice, right? So just sitting in this position is a hip opener. Just the nature of the position is a little bit of a hip opener. So I know for me, when I fold clothes on our bed every night, because there's always laundry, I try to sit in a hip opener so that I'm getting something done that I have to get done, and at the same time, excuse me, I have hiccups. I'm very easily, I don't know what happened, I have hiccups. I'm very easily allowing my hips to start to open a little, which is great because when I wake up in the morning, my hips are always extra tight because of the way I sleep. I sleep on my side, kind of in the fetal position, hugging a pillow, and I'm stacked hip on top of hip, but there's no space there. So everything starts the day off crunchy, and then I have to open it as the day goes. So anytime I can get in any kind of yoga, even if it's while I'm folding clothes, in my mind, it's better than nothing, and I know it's going to be helpful. So I try to think that way as often as I can. So we're just going to go to the right side and lengthen out. And I meant what I said, inspect your DIY pedicure. I'm so tired of doing my own pedicures. They're not the same. Your feet feel just as rough and gross in the beginning as they do when you're done. Yeah, sure, they have Vanity Fairest polish on them now, but I don't even know how to do a good job. It's not good. It looks better when it grows out like 2 weeks and it's not all jammed up in my cuticles. So, walk your hands around. Same little hip opener and lengthener on the other side. No big deal here. I don't know about you guys, but I have blisters too. I got 2 new pairs of running shoes over the last 3 weeks, I guess. And while I like them both and they're both comfortable, they're both new. So until they break in a little bit, I get blisters. So I have 2 blisters on my left ankle, 1 on my right. And when I'm home, I tend to walk around barefoot, come to the middle most of the time. And our puppy, for some reason, before I even realize it's happening, likes to lick blisters. Oh my gosh, is that disgusting? That's totally disgusting. Bless her heart. She's the sweetest, but it's so gross. So then I have to quickly put socks on. Come on up and lay on your backs. I hope you feel good. I feel good. So obviously, I hope you feel even better. Lay on your backs, arms out at your sides, palms up. We're going to go right into a couple minutes of quiet, restful Shavasana. I'm going to do my best to zip it. I just want you to find your breath. So start off with the arms out, palms up. They don't have to be big T. They can just be, a foot away from you. But you want your palms up so that your shoulders continue to open and loosen and they don't get jacked up before we're even done with class. So palms up. Find your breath. Your inhale and your exhale. Inhaling, drawing the breath all the way down to the low belly. Holding it there for a couple seconds, just a quick count, and then slowly exhaling. And allowing your body to settle on every exhale. So in the beginning of class, I told you what were we doing? We were doing our simple twist, our easy twist, right? When you inhale, that's kind of when you just, be in the pose. When you exhale, that's when you let everything soften and you let yourself go deeper into the pose. Same thing with Shavasana. I know you're just lying here, but sometimes you're lying here tense. Sometimes you're lying here agitated. Sometimes you're lying here and you're anxious. So with every exhale, whatever it is that's keeping you from being totally blissed out and relaxed, aside from not being in a spa, you want to let a little tiny bit of that go on the exhale and try to let your body feel heavier and more grounded on the exhale. That's what we're going for. Eyes are closed, mind is wandering. Anything that you need to think about or be worried about, which sounds crazy to even say in the life that we're living right now, it'll all be there. It'll all be there when we're done with yoga, right? The lockdown, the quarantine, COVID, it'll all be there when we're done. So just a minute or two here. Breathing consciously, being still in the moment, and trying to really connect with the ground underneath us by letting our muscles relax and be heavy. All right, guys, start to wiggle your fingers and your toes just a little bit. Bring a little bit more of an awakening back to yourself. Let your eyes open, and when you're ready, pull your knees in. Either roll over to your right and come on up to sit, or hug your knees in and rock yourself up to a comfortable seated position. I prefer the rocking up. I don't know why, but I've always liked that better. I think because Shavasana is hard for me. It's hard for me to be that still. Sometimes it's super easy, sometimes it's super hard. So on the days when it's harder, I think I like to just get up and get moving and get going with the next thing. And the rocking up seems faster, a little more aggressive. I don't know. Hands come to your heart in prayer. Thank you for being with me today. Thank you for practicing with me. Again, if you're new to virtual yoga with me, welcome. Thanks for giving it a look. And I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. I will see you again on Saturday morning. We'll do something different. And I hope you feel better now than you did when you first started with me. So close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Exhale the breath. Inhale. Namaste. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Go about your day feeling a little bit looser in your hips, I hope. And hopefully just with a little more pep in your step, right? Happy day 79. I will see you on Saturday. Take good care of yourselves, okay? Bye, friends.